Lights out and let's go racing, folks, and it's a very even start from the entire field.
There's a freight train forming behind him right now. He will be as nervous as a cat in a room full of rocking chairs. I can give you the hot tip. Sideways as a bishop on a chessboard. That was incredible car control.
Going for a bit of an ambitious dive now, and oh, there's contact! Here they come now, around the final turn on the final lap. They're side by side.
Oh, there's contact there. Someone is going to be hitting the showers early tonight, I'll tell you what.
Crosses the line for P1. Brilliant racing, absolutely sensational stuff.
This is heart pounding. This is nerves rising. This is Simsational TV.
It's the season finale of the Wednesday Cup for Season 20. We have seen an epic championship battle take shape over the last 18 races, but 3 more tonight will decide the champion. We travel from the coast of Italy to the vast paddocks of Russia, where we find Moscow Raceway. This 3.9-kilometre circuit has 13 corners to throw everything at these drivers to test them to the greatest degree. Everything from big braking zones, fast sweeping corners, and challenging direction changes to keep these Holden Geminis dancing on the edge of grid. It's the championship decider. 3 drivers, but only one can be champion. All live here on Simsational TV.
Holy cowabunga, ladies and gentlemen. What an intro and what a time to be alive here in 2026. It is Wednesday Cup, Season 20, season finale here. As Pete said, my name is Zach O'Reilly. In the commentary box tonight is myself and the great man here right beside me. And boy, oh boy, have we got an event here tonight for all of you boys. We are so excited, and we are live right here from Moscow Raceway, and boy oh boy is this a track to get yourself used to. 13 turns, 3.9 kilometres of absolute hardcore action racing. 8-minute qualifying session coming your way. 15 minutes race 1, race 2, top 8 reverse grid, 16-minute, 17 minutes for race 3 with the top 12. And the fastest man in the practice session is the man leading the championship. And it is a good evening to you, Peter. And look at this for an absolute barnstorming event. And look at that championship, my dear friend. Holy cow.
It is so close, isn't it, Zach? You've got 1 point separating your top 2 as it stands heading into the decider. But do not discount Andrew Ferguson in 3rd position, because he is only 24 points behind. There's plenty of points on offer amongst these 3 races. And then further down the field, you've got Hayden Wallace, Benny Hines, Brody Barber, Lee Clint Old, Thomas Marzella, and Paul Buttigieg, rounding out your top 10 in the championship. And look at the points difference between some of those drivers as well, especially P4 to P6. There's only a few points in it there, and then further down the field in 9th and 10th, also only a few points in it there as well. So there is plenty of championship battles going on at it. So even the ones at the front, not at the front of the championship, they'll still be battling extra hard as well to try and claim any extra position they can, because there's definitely some on the table.
Oh, there definitely is, mate. And don't you worry about that, ladies and gentlemen. That championship could be the one that Fabian gets, and it could be his fastest ever way to 5 championships in a row. That is what we're dealing with, and that is exactly how we are going to go for it tonight. We're excited here. I hope you guys are too. Good evening to everyone out there in the chat as well here on this weekend. It's time to go qualifying, I reckon, here for these boys. They've had enough bloody practice out there, and with the race control just starting to get themselves set in, we are about to flick over to this 8-minute session, and that means business. Perfect time for the music to just stop there, Pete. Now we are actually meaning business here, and it is 8-minute session for these boyos, but that means they've got to wait here, Pete. 10 minutes and 44 seconds on the clock. 2 minutes till these boyos are allowed to go out there and go for it. What have we got in the way of predictions, me old son?
I reckon the top three that we're talking about in the championship, do not discount them for trying to get themselves further up in the qualifying session. Expect them to try and go for that top three positionings. But I reckon we've seen one driver on the moment on fantastic form, and that is the driver on screen at the moment, Benny Hines. He has been on fine form. He has won. Looking through the results at the moment, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 race wins so far this season for himself. So he has definitely been up there in the midst of things. Unfortunately, has been up in a couple of incidents every now and again. So let's see how he goes as we've now gone green in quali.
We've gone early here. The boys are keen to get out onto it. The race controller said, get it, your asses out there early and go for it. And that's what these boys are doing. It's Benny Hines, who has come in and out of this championship very thoroughly. And he is a quick customer as well. So he's got the perfect time here now to absolutely upset Fabian Fitness for this win of his championship possibly coming his way. But it is now between this guy. These are the one we need to focus on. That man on screen, Fabian Fitness. Brendan Hack also on screen we need to focus on too. So keep an eye out on those guys in this qualifying session. We've got a couple of new drivers here. Logan Baker, it doesn't need a livery. He's out there ready to rock and roll. And then it's back to our normal proceedings. Jake Buttigieg, another quick customer. Pete enters his way into the championship for an on and off season. Back from defending the country, has this big man done in the old military state. So well done to him.
Yeah, we have to say thanks for everything that he does for Jake there as well. So it's great to see him back out on the circuit. And while he's been gone, the older Buttigieg of Paul has really turned up the wick for himself as well, even sneaking his way inside of the top 10 of the championship as well. So the Buttigiegs, even if both of them aren't on track, at least one of them can find themselves towards the pointy end of the field. And it's been fantastic to see the two Buttigiegs are back together on track once again, and it is going to be interesting to see where, for his first race back in a while, where Jake can put it. But here's another driver that is one to be a force to be reckoned with as well. Lee Crowther, the Birdman. He has been on some really good form recently as well.
He has indeed, and he needs to get himself a little bit further up the championship. He's inserted himself back in the top 10 as a Birdman, been very consistent around this circuit, but it is one man leading the charge here for his first flying lap here at Moscow Circuit. It is Benny Hines on screen, ready to rumble and keen as a bean to put down a very quick time. Has to beat Fabian Fitness at some stage. He's nearly an unstoppable force, is Fabian, but this season he's had to work hard for it, and this man has come in and absolutely made it very difficult as Ben Hines. So don't you worry, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a hell of an event coming our way tonight, and with 7 minutes 38 seconds left on the clock, this could flip upside down. It's a longish lap around here, but very tight and very technical as well. And you can just see the way that they file these little Geminis in as they go. It's beautiful stuff. Just smooth inputs there from Benny Hines. Slaps it down to second gear, slides it out the other side, and then absolutely fangs it into another little right-hander coming his way after that left-hander. This one here is probably the most technical part of the circuit, because if you don't get this right, you are going to get sucked all the way down this little back straight kink that we have got here, and it's a long way to be on the wrong end of an overtaking maneuver, Pete.
Yeah, and a long way it is, to be exact, 873 meters from the exit of turn 12 to the entry of turn 13. So you are going to be massively punished if you do not get that corner correct. So it's going to be a pivotal section of that part of the circuit. So one to definitely keep an eye on. And how is his first proper flying lap? And it's a 1:37.6. That is not a bad lap time at all. But there we go, immediately eclipsed by Fabian Fitness. And one driver that we also said has now put himself into third, Lee Crowther, putting in another good lap. But it is your championship battles up the front as it stands. Tommy Corks just got himself into second as well. The gaps are very close. Your top three separated by less than 0.3 of a second.
Yeah, beautiful stuff there from all of them. They're absolutely flying. That's how close it is. It might be nearly 4 kilometres and some slow angular turns, but boy oh boy, there is every micro sector count here tonight. They are flying around here at the moment. 37.4 is on. Fabian's on the charge here, and he needs to absolutely get past his man, who is his championship compatriot there, Brendan Hack, sweeping around the outside. And Fabian is going quick as well. He's got a purple sector 1 and 2, but Hackster here has only got a green first one. His second one was absolutely dog shit for him, and now it's going to be sector 3 that counts, and he's just sent it out too wide on the bunda. This man, though, he's on the prowl. Look at that thing go. He's got one more sector to complete here. Only a couple of corners left to go, but he's got to navigate through this long back straight. He's about to come down here. Is he going to be able to get that air slipstream from Ferguson, who we just saw in front? No, he's not. So, and he's pulled out of that one too. So that is it. But this man here also finding some form as Andrew Ferguson. You would know that, Peter. He's been flying and going good guns in every form of racing he's been a part of.
Yeah, he is a driver in form pretty much in just about everything that he puts his sim rig to. So I expect him to also find his way to the front. How does this lap fare for himself? His last was only a 1:39, so I'm going to say that was a bit of a cool down lap because he was a few seconds away from the pace, but now finds himself starting another fast lap here. And Ben Hines, your current pole sitter, but only, mind you as well, half a tenth is the gap at the moment. So while we're talking about the other drivers, he's dropped it up to P1 and has beaten Fabian Fitness at the moment, your championship leader. So it's getting even closer at the top of the field. More fast laps slowly making their way through as well. Tommy Corks sitting in third in the beautiful Chrome machine. How does that look?
It looks unbelievable. It's so nice, and doing a great homage there back to the old DTM, McLaren, all the old school days there of this racing series that we used to see, and a pretty good car to do it in as well. The old Gemini's looks horned like that. I love the thing. Just reflects off, nearly gives you some absolute blinding eyesight as you're following the thing. But he's in third place, still got 3/10 to make up. Hines is leading this one by 0.05 of a second over Fabian Fitness, our championship leader. Brendan Hack is a long way off the pace here, 0.6 exactly, in fact, off the pace is the big man to his compatriot up there in second. So a bit of work here for the Hackster to do. He has got a beautiful sector 2 set down, fastest out of everyone so far, and he's got a lovely suck here off Andrew Ferguson. Is this going to help him in the old lap time department? I think it is. Fabian will be watching this on the replay and going, that's how the bloke got me another 4/10 on the back straight. Thank you very much, Andrew Ferguson. Out the other side, he comes onto the final straightaway. There's Brendan Hack go. This is going to be an absolute ripper of a lap here. It's going to be a 37.5 for him. 2/10 poops Tommy Corks out of that. Fabian Fitness has gone bang once more again and slapped it back into P1, now by 3/10, Pete, over Benny Hines.
That was a mega lap from Fabian Fitness. He's now into the 37 dead section of a lap time. Do we think with 3 minutes left on the clock and the track evolution as it keeps going in, do we think he could break into a 36? He'll have to beat what is already a fantastic lap time to be able to do that, but it's also only 0.08 of a second, and I think he's on track for it because he's gone purple in sector 1.
He has, and he's going even faster here, ladies and gentlemen. The micro sectors are looking good. About 4 out of 7 are green. 1 was a purple in sector 2 here as well. So he's flying as a big man. Another PB in sector 2. Walk out for this guy. He is a flying. Let's see the wheel work. Oh, he's just got held up there by one Andrew Ferguson. He won't be happy about that one, well, Fabian, because it's only 2 minutes and 20 left to go in this qualifying session. So he's got to get back in the rhythm, and Unred missed himself out of that because that would not be happy camping at all. For Fabian, he's not going to get a good lap here. Who else can we see back into the championship? This guy is right in there. Jake Buttigieg, thank you, Mr. Cheeseboard there. I'm sitting around watching this, getting banned, but pay your way into it. Well, mate, just don't get license points, mate, and you'll be fine. Improve and upwards for you next season. There's Zaya just hanging around the outside. But as I was saying, Jake Buttigieg now is still only half a second off the lead. That is the gap between first to fifth, Pete. It is so close between third, fourth, and fifth.
It is extremely close, isn't it, between the lot of them? So it's going to be very fascinating to see how this plays out. Only a minute 30 left on the clock with this one as well. So any drivers who haven't started their final lap yet will be starting their final one because the lap time's at the moment in the minute 37 realm. And it is currently only a 10.5 between your P1 and P2 sitters at the moment. And it's Hines versus Fitness out in front. Tommy Corks He's going to hope that he can try and stay in third because he's in the pit lane, so he's not going to be able to improve on anything with the very limited amount of time left in this session. But Fabian Fitness, look at that. It hasn't gone green or a personal best in the first sector, but there are the green micro sectors, and he's going purple now in the micro sectors in sector 2. Could this be a 36?
Well, it could be here. He's got a personal best there in sector 2. He's just crossed the line. So we're going to watch that timing tower do its own things. Benny Hines has gone even quicker, though, in the middle sector. Fastest out of everyone here so far for this man. He's rounding his way onto the back straight as well. Fabian Fitness, he's not too far behind him. He's now out of the other corner and coming through. This is unbelievable stuff. Scenes here because Fabian Fitness wants to wrap up a championship. Benny Hines is not going to make it let it do it easy, so to speak. Final corner coming up for Benny. What's his sector time going to look like? Is he going to fling it out the other side nice and smoothly? He does. Doesn't get a track cut here. Can it be the best lap of his life? He's got to be a 36 dead, and it's a 37-1. Has not been able to pit Fabian Fitness on his dying moments. He's got one more to go. If he's got the fuel in it, he could possibly keep going. Has Fabian been able to improve on his own time here? He does. 36.730. Half a second there, and just, I think, got over the line before the checkered flag is waved. So he might even have another crack here, Pete.
Yeah, we thought, well, we were questioning whether he'll be able to make it into the 36s. He has smashed it into the 36s, going to straight away to a 36.7, no, 36.98, but a 7. So he is on absolutely rapid pace. Everyone behind him, though, has taken the checkered flag. So this is now really just for bragging rights to show who is boss out here at the moment and how quickly he can really go. Because if he is going to go for another fast lap here, that's just going to assert some real dominance, especially if he is going to be able to improve on that 36.7. Brody Barber, though, in 8th position, crosses the line. He's nearly 2 seconds away from the pole position. And look at that in sector 1. There is a purple micro sector. It's pretty much grey everywhere, though, but it would be pretty hard to improve on that one. So the fact that he's even found a purple micro sector is pretty impressive so far.
It is, actually, and he's doing great guns. I'll click the wrong button there. Has Fabian Fitness. This man is your pole sitter. Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, he's showing us all how to do it. And 4:47 in the points is the time that he needs to keep himself in front, at least in the next race coming up. One race is up. 15 minutes. Hot action. Fabian Fitness off the front row with Benny Hines right next to him. It is so close, though, there on the rest of the timing tower. Tommy Corks was in 3rd, Buddy getting 4th. And Lee Crowther in 5th, only separated by a couple tenths apiece. But with that is all done, and we need to get going, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back here at Simsational TV after the server has done its thing and set back here. Get yourself strapped in, get your condiments refilled, get yourself set in for some racing, and we'll be back here after a few words from our sponsors. Don't you go anywhere.
Motorsport isn't just a hobby, it's a lifestyle. And when performance matters, you need gear you can trust. That's where ARD Importing comes in. ARD Importing brings world-class racing brands straight to New Zealand, supplying real racers, real teams, and real enthusiasts with proven performance products around the globe. We're talking JRP racing components, Zamp helmets and safety gear you can rely on the track, Red Cat Racing for high-performance RC action and intimate brake pads for serious stopping power when it counts most. Keep your engine protected with renewable lubricants, premium oils designed for extreme performance and durability. Turn up the volume with Wicked Audio, delivering powerful sound whenever the road or track takes you. And gear up with Spartan products built for durability, comfort, and race day durability. Whether you're racing dirt, asphalt, or chasing lap times from home, ARD Importing has you covered. Sim racers as well. Listen up, ladies and gentlemen, because ARD New Zealand is your importing source for all of Camus Racing sim gear. Precision wheels, professional grade pedals, immersive feedback that puts you right in the driver's seat. Train harder, race smarter, and feel every corner. From real-world racing to the virtual grid, ardimporting.co.New Zealand connects you with elite brands trusted by racers worldwide.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting sweaty here. Don't know how the drivers are feeling, but I can tell you what, they would be very, very nervous, I reckon, here, Big Pete, because with this sort of pressure and tenseness coming their way, it's going to be very, very tight for Fabian Fitness to get himself psyched up. Even though he had the pace in practice, it's still easy to unnerve yourself for a very, very important race.
Yeah, it is very important that he doesn't get a little bit ahead of himself here. We know he's got the pace. He took the pole position by some margin, but that's one lap pace. How does the race pace fare for himself? Because we have seen in the past, those who get the pole position generally can't convert it to the race win. So the pressure is definitely against Fabian Fitness as it stands, but we have got one hell of a grid set up for the first of 3 races here tonight.
Yeah, we do, and you guys have got to get strapped in out there in YouTube land, because boy oh boy are the stakes high. Big thank you to Dean Anley for the super chat as well. $5 coming in from him. Best in the business going at it. Thank you, mate. Love me a Wednesday Cup. Well, I hope you enjoy it as well. Tomo is out there as well, the old cheese board. He's giving us a good rev up as well. So this is going to be interesting. I'm excited. Everyone out there should be excited for this one as we wait for a couple of cars to get in the server. We are still missing someone from that. I think it is Tommy Corks, actually, who has not been able to get himself back in. Bit concerning there. He was 4th on the road, and we can't see him there on the grid. But this is what it looks like. Fitness, Hines, Hackster, Buttygeg, Crowther, Wallace, and Oliver Barber and Lauren as well are your top 10. But race 1 is up and ready to go. The lights are up. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lights before the Wednesday Cup is go, go, go here, and Fabian has got a good jump there on the big man right beside him, Benny Hines too, so it's going to be pretty even. Stevens coming down to turn 1. There goes Fabian, sweeps into the lead there and gets that chockies over Benny Hines already, giving out a beautiful, beautiful jump himself. 3rd place, he's in, tussling and throwing at the back here at the moment. This is good stuff from the boys. Brendan Hack nearly just chopped the nose off someone there, and poor old Jake Buttygeg too, but it is now very, very tedious through here. You've got to be careful on the cold tyres to get yourself out of there. That's good stuff. This is racing on here. You can see Fabian dancing out in front with Buttygeg and Crowther fighting over 4th and 5th respectively too. The rest of the field though has just been absolutely split in the middle, right down the back. We've got Zaya here versus Fergo versus Marzella versus Dooley, all going for it. That's Zaya. Dooley's gone wide there as well, so he's now under all sorts of pressure. Then we've got Sam Bensley and him going side by side. Bensley's going to try and go for all Buttygeg up the inside here as well. Good at this. Look at that for a beautiful move there and commitment from Bensley. Paul Buttygeg had nothing to answer for there. Comes back on the circuit though. Dirty tyres on his car. Boy oh boy, this is commitment stuff from the mid-pack, and they are racing like the life depends on it here as well. But up the front, it is Benny Hines. It is ready and rocking and rolling for him. He needs to get himself out there and firing, because at this point in the time, it's only 0.5 of a second for Fabs, and Benny might just be wanting to lose the party. Look at the toe there, break there from Fabian last minute as well. Back down here, Buttygeg is following the Hackster 3/10 behind him as well. The rest of the field has decided to get through pretty cleanly as well. Zaya and Marzella are also about to go at it, Hammer and Toms as well, so keep an eye out for these boys too. But it is going to be lap 1 lead by Fabian Fitness here, Pete, and this is the scenario for him. Clean air, not a bad place to start.
Yeah, absolutely, and his closest championship rival at the moment is in 3rd position, a few seconds behind, so he's it's a little bit of a dream scenario for himself at the moment, but the reason why the field is so spread out already is I don't know if anyone else saw it in the back of shot when they were exiting turn 2 on the previous lap. We had a couple of spinners in the background. It looks like one of the Air Multicars, or possibly Paul Buttygeg, who was also involved in it, and cars were scattered everywhere, and now we've kind of got 2 fields separated in amongst everyone, so it's going to be very interesting and very difficult to keep up with all the battles that are going to happen now, because we've got 2 compact packs already in this field, and one of them is Jake Buttygeg coming back from being away from the sim for some time. immediately showing he has got pace, currently sitting in 4th position and trying to put the pressure on Brendan Hack, who is probably not wanting this situation at the moment because he doesn't want to look in the rearview mirror. He wants to try and catch up to Fabian Fitness just in front.
Yeah, he does, and he just needs to get the gallop on to Brendan Hack and make sure that Fabian is kept honest at least. Not giving him some confidence at the start of a round is probably the worst thing you could do to Fabian, because he will just gallop away. And that oversteer moment there we just saw is not ideal there for Hackster. 0.5 of a second between himself and threat under from 4th place there for Jake Buttigieg. So very, very tardy for everyone else. It's been relatively clean, in fact, from the field. They've spread out a little bit here now, but we know what that means. Things are starting to brew, ladies and gentlemen. He is one man who doesn't care about any of that, Andrew Ferguson. He is the man who was fighting tooth and nail last night in the Rangiar Brute Utes with Jason McFadden for a win. So he's hitting some form and found himself in 3rd in the championship as well. So a quick, consistent customer all year has this man been, driving really well. And he's got David Smart in front of him now to naturally navigate with 0.2 of a second under his back rear wing away. That could be very interesting if he gets a move done, but it's very challenging to do it through this section here. It's just very much a very long sweeper in about 5 or 6 corners, to be quite truthful. It's just repeat, rinse, repeat the whole time. So you've got to nail the exits, get yourself out the other side, and just hope that you can get into this sort of slipstream action down the hill into this kink that goes to the right-hand side. But Fergo too far away at the moment to make a bit of a move. Paul Buttigieg, though, he's absolutely sending it on Dante's eye. That is a cracking move, Pete, and he is on fire as the senior of the 2 Buttigiegs.
Yeah, he is absolutely on fire. That was a very authoritative move down the end there as well, with Thomas Marzella right in front of him, holding that 10th position away. And so it's only about going to invite Paul a little bit closer, and just that one moment there was 0.2 of a second loss. And so it doesn't take much around a circuit like this where it's so flowing that you may have some big heavy braking zones, but most of the circuit's very flowing. So a couple of mistakes like that really change your lap complexity for that one as well. Personal best lap times still coming in. Fabian Fitness has put it down into the 37.1s already. Absolutely rapid pace, and down the inside is that going to be Barber trying to get the position away from Zaya. He's going to have to try and get it done. He can't get it done. He showed the nose, unfortunately was not able to get the traction required to be able to pull up alongside the finish off the move into turn 1.
No, well, he'll be fighting tooth and nail here with a haircut, and Zaya will give him some racing room as well. They're very, very nice to each other, are those two boys, so they'll be fine. Don't you worry about that, but it's race on here up and down the field. This is one close battle here, and look at Barber trying to fling it around the outside and get the old switcheroo done. Up and under he goes. He can't get that job done now, but Dante is just putting on a defensive masterclass here, just cutting every bit of diameter off the circuit, and does so there, and Barber's got no answer for him. So play on for those two. What is Jake Buttigieg doing here to Brendan Hack? He is only 0.4 away right now from potentially taking that P3 off Brendan. Brendan now needs to get himself way further in front in the reverse top 8 coming our way in race 2, and just gallivant his way up the field and away from Fabian Fitness, because right now it's not ideal for him, and he's got that man in the air, Multicar, wanting to steal his championship hopes off him, as is this man in front too, Benny Hines. He is also wanting to get Fabian's chockies and start eating them before he's even finished the race. And he's keeping him honest here, Pete. This is great stuff from the two, even though they've only been split by about 0.5 of a second. It's so consistent and it's just so smooth. How do these guys do it?
I don't know. That is just the tails of the driver at the moment. They lock away their driver handbook to not give away any of their secrets, and it looks like they're very much on the same wavelength that we're currently driving around this magnificent circuit, because, yeah, as you said, the gap is not changing really at all. I reckon right now is probably the biggest it's ever been at 0.7 of a second. So the fact that we're this deep into the race and we're still only this close together, and we're saying it's the biggest gap we've seen yet, it just says the quality of driving between these two. But back to the battle for Andrew Ferguson as well, because well, taking a quick look at the championship for Ferguson as well. So Fabian Fitness and Brendan Hack both well and truly up the road against himself, but he's got to be a little bit careful, because with all of the points on offer in this round, he is not out of the question to possibly lose ground as well in the championship, because Hayden Wallace and Benny Hines are pretty close behind in the championship as well. And both of those drivers are ahead of Andrew Ferguson. So you find yourself with Wallace in 6th position and Hines in 2nd. So Andrew Ferguson may be wanting to try and chase down the 1st and 2nd positions in the championship, but he's also and this is another incident for Buttigieg now as well. So Buttigieg and it looks like Zaya have come to blows in the first portion of the circuit.
Yeah, something's happened there between the two of them. I just saw the timing tower do some weird things, and I thought, oh no, what's happened here? And surely enough, crossed to them, and they're both posing perpendicular to the actual track direction. So something's happened between the two. It's come out the best way for Paul Buttigieg, if you can call it that. Not the worst way to go racing anyway. Fabian's flying, doing 36.6s there out in front. 37.2 was Benny Hines' last lap. So he's now started to check out his Benny Hines of the battle between himself and Fabian Fitness, which is interesting. But this man's on the charge here is David Smart. He's got the cheese board in front, wagging the tail there of his Gemini on entrance into the final corner. There was Thomas Marzella, but David Smarty is going to play his last name on the racetrack here, I would say, and just keep it safe, because at the moment he's got a very feisty customer in that Thomas the Tank Engine car in front, and this guy can be cool, calm and collected at the best of times. Will David be able to get himself further up the field and past Tom Marzella, barring an absolute disaster there, 6/10 away. But speaking of close, it is now Hackster under all sorts of pressure on board here at Moscow, and this is very, very dicey. Fabian Fitness is loving seeing Brendan Hack be under threat there on his timing tower. Fabian and Brendan Hack here is not liking what's happening between himself and this guy we're on board with, Jake Buttigieg. They are two very quick customers and sliding it around there. Grip.exe is not on song here tonight for Hackster. He hasn't got a tune for this track, and look at the closing speed of Jake Buttigieg mid-corner. They're just darty as hell, these cars. It looks like they're absolutely slicing and dicing at the steering wheel, ladies and gentlemen. It's just how the things are. They are so pointy, and if you're not used to it, it just makes you look very, very unsmooth. But he's got the run here. There's Jake Buttigieg. Is he going to go to the... He's going to go to the right-hand side, do it the long way around, because the next one is a left-hander. Can he get the job done on Hackster, fighting for his championship life there? Into the corner we go. He doesn't. He's just tried to switch back, but he nudged the back end there of Brendan Hack and couldn't get that job done. Hackster still under all sorts of pressure. Here comes Jake again, firing around the outside, the long way around into turn one. Can he get the job done? He can't. Brendan Hack survives here, but this is all bringing in one man here, Pete, and that is the Birdman.
The Birdman is soaring in. The wings are out, and he is climbing into the back of this battle as well. And I nearly thought that Hack had thrown it away when he went wide on the exit of turn one, because it looked like he had the thing on the power slide. And all that is just doing is letting Jake know where his weaknesses are. And Lee Crowther has got the perfect view of what this battle is going to be all about. And he is right there for the picking if any of these drivers could come to blows as well, because we're coming up to a couple of crucial points here where an overtake may be possible up over the hump. And now heading towards the final sector of the circuit, which is going to be mainly that giant back straight where Jake is definitely close enough for a bit of a slipstream move if he's able to get it close enough under the brakes.
Yeah, it is looking that way for him at the moment for Buttigieg, but he's just been stuffing up the last two corners. They're not ideal through this sector. Hackster's got it right, and look at the Birdman in that rear vision mirror. You can just see him ever so closer and closer coming towards Jake Buttigieg here. So this is going to be interesting to see what he can do, and if he's going to be able to go for third or having to defend for fifth and fourth place. Very, very good stuff from these boys. Very tardy indeed, and just going hammer and tongue of these boys. Speaking of which, 3.5 minutes left in the race, and this guy has led it from start to finish so far. Well, start to this point of the race. Let's not call it too early, and commentator curse him. But 1.8 seconds is the gap between himself and Benny Hines in Fabian Fitness's favour. And the championship leader is looking for that fifth crown of his. He's got 4 on that side of the car. You can see them. Is he going to be able to do it? Or is this man here, Brendan Hack, in third place, going to be able to sing to the fire heavens here in race 2, 16-minute, a top 8 reverse grid, and get a win of his own tonight, Pete?
Yeah, he's got a bit of work to do if he wants to, because that gap now out in front has extended even further. Fabian Fitness, I don't know if you saw on the timings just before, his last lap was only 2/10 slower than the best lap of the race. So he is definitely pushing the absolute limits of this Gemini to be able to hold on to a race win at the moment. But Brendan Hack is pushing the limits, but it's not for the race win. It's to try and hold on to the podium positions at the moment, because he's got not only Jake Buttigieg, but now Lee Crowther has definitely pulled himself into this battle, and he is well amongst it as well, applying the pressure onto the back of Jake, putting Jake in that awkward position in the middle of two cars. Do you look frontwards? Do you look backwards? But I reckon Jake still very much has the eye forward to try and take that podium away from Brendan Hack.
He does, actually, because it's a double-edged sword, as you said there, Pete, and you don't know which way to slice it. You can go forwards or back. It's been a meat and a sandwich, so to speak, out there. So it's interesting stuff. Speaking of interesting, the haircut back on screen and finding some pace here late in the race. He's got David Smart right there ready to go, and Smart has not been able to get past the cheese board. The cheese board has done a great job out there in ninth so far with under 2 minutes to go in race one. He's just keeping himself in the top 10. Had a quali ban, so he started dead last, ladies and gentlemen, and now he comes out absolutely swinging in this race here and got himself up to 9th place. What a drive here so far from the cheese board. He's doing very well, but Barber is doing even better on Smart. He's gone to the inside down the back straightaway, but Smarto's just outbraked Barber by 400 yards and just planted it back into the final corner, and out the other side he goes. That was absolutely sensational. It's a driving ability there for David Smart. Lovely, lovely stuff from him. This is good racing, Pete, and they're keeping each other honest here in the fringes of the top 10.
They absolutely are, and battling for a top 10 is going to be crucial as well. They're going to fall a bit short of that magical 8th position to try and get themselves the pole for the reverse grid, which is currently being held by Andrew Ferguson. But the points on offer for a top 10 finish is absolutely huge in the championship, and as we said, even if they're not inside the top 10 battling it out for those minor positions up and down the field, there's going to be so many drivers wanting to try and get that extra position or two up at the standings. And David Smart, we've seen his braking ability now, but he is still very much under attack from the haircut of Brody Barber, so he is going to have his work cut out for him in the remaining 30 seconds of this race, to which, looking at the track map, it looks like Fabian Fitness, he's going to cross the line to start the final lap of the race any moment now.
He is. He's about to go right there, right now in 3, 2, 1. Bang. There goes Fabian Fitness across the start finish line. 37 still at the end of this 15-minute. Christ, the man is on absolute fire here tonight so far. That is a big slide from the cheese board, and there, David Smart, and this has given the haircut the perfect opportunity to sling it back up the inside. Holy cow, for these guys, second last lap here, this is on like Donkey Kong. Straight down, you can see the overlap happening and increasing, and the haircut now versus Smart. Who's going to be braver on the brakes into this turn once again? It's David Smart. It is. He sweeps around the outside, but haircuts up the inside and returns to serve. Here, a bit of door bumping and shouting out there as well, but they come across the line within 500ths of each other. It's still advantage David Smart, though. Boy, oh boy, are these guys putting on the show. Now they'll know it's the last lap because the white flag is out. The timer is ticked down to 0, and it is going to be a big points haul here for Fabian Fitness. Olaf and Wallace have come together, Pete, here in the last lap, and that is unfortunate for those two. And I think Wallace just got yeeted off, unless there was the timing tower doing weird things. I'm not too sure, but it's still on here. Barber and haircut are still fighting. Fabian's about to round down the back straight, so he's now on song here to get the final lap done, and maybe his first win here tonight, Pete.
Yeah, absolutely. It is going to be crucial for the championship as well for Fabian Fitness. He's just got the big back straight to navigate, but the battle at the moment between Barber and Smart is absolutely fascinating because you can see the strengths and weaknesses around the circuit between the two, and it definitely looks like Barber will be looking to try and go for another dive bomb into that very corner, but it's Fabian Fitness to take the first blood here tonight in race 1 and secures a championship lead heading into race 2. So he'll be starting the next one from 8th. He's got a bit of work to do if he wants to try and go for yet another win to just absolutely solidify his position at the top. Benny Hines crosses the line in 2nd. Brendan Hack rounds out your podium. Jake Buttigieg and Lee Crowther round out your top 5, and the battle is on between Barber and Smart. They're swapping places, or is that just the timing tower doing funny things? But either way, Barber has now actually got himself ahead of Smart, so something has happened in that final sector before heading down the main straight. So at the moment, Barber will take that final top 10 position with Oliver Wallace, Ferguson, Marzella and Barber rounding out of that top 10.
Yeah, good stuff there from all those guys racing onwards. It was a huge split between 5th from 6th place, so the top 5 was just dancing off into the distance in that one, and then it was 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th and 10th all split at least 25 seconds apart also. So some mysterious things going on there. Sam Bensley, though, tried to get over Sam Dooley there for a finish. Half a tenth or a bit there over the line between those two just to finish off the proceedings. Tommy Corks will be hating life because he did not make the grid And he did enter the server, though, so he's doing great guns in drifting this thing around the final corner, putting on a show. But it is this man. Cometh the man, cometh the hour, and it is Fabian Fitness's time to maybe start to think about the celebrations here. Winner of race 1. 2 more to go, ladies and gentlemen. Fitness, Hines, Hack, Buddington, Crowther, Olaf, Wallace, Ferguson, Marzella, and Barber were your top 10 for race 1. And then it's going to be reversed and flipped on its head for race 2. Andrew Ferguson is going to start off pole, Pete. What are we thinking is going to happen there, boy, oh boy?
Well, typically, if you give Andrew Ferguson the pole position, he runs away with it. He is not the one to miss opportunities like this. So Ferguson's going to be definitely a challenge to hold on to in the next race. But the pace is definitely at the front of the field, because the pace between Fitness and Hines was absolutely something else. So I expect those guys to be able to carve their way through the field, but do they have the pace against Ferguson once he's in clean air?
That is the question we all need to find out, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to do that right away. Live from Moscow Raceway, Fabian Fitness takes first blood. Race 2 coming our way. Top 8 reverse grid. Get yourselves strapped in, ladies and gentlemen. You know what to do. Get the condiments refilled, and we'll be back here at Simsational TV in just a hot second. Forms and expertise in getting the best gear. Simsational TV has proudly partnered up with Speed Nation. It is New Zealand's go-to destination for high-performance sim gear. They also stock the best and biggest brands in the game, from Thrustmaster, Moser Racing, Next Level Racing, Sparko, Turtle Beach, and more. And whether you're looking for the ultra-responsive racing wheels or pro-grade flight controls, immersive audio, or rock-solid cockpits, I'll tell you what, Speed Nation has got it all. They also carry other trusted names like Butt Kicker, PT Actuators, Wheel Stand Pros, Gen Ace, Spectrum in the remote control field, and also Collective Mind. So every step and part of your setup is covered, from complete racing rigs and premium flight packs. We here at Simsational TV, back in Speed Nation, to deliver the gear that takes your experience to the next level. Fast shipping, trusted brands, unbeatable quality, and I'll tell you what, Speed Nation has it all. And as an excellent gift for all of our viewers tonight and members out there of Simsational TV, and if you're trying to get into racing, go to the checkout, buy some stuff off Speed Nation, because if you buy any full price product on the website, enter the code Simsational, that is SIMSATIONINAL. Oh my God, I can't even speak. And you will get a 10% discount off your end cart price. So go in there.
10%? 10% did you say, Zachary?
I did say 10%, mate. I did not say 5. I did not say 4. I said 10. Wow. Okay, let's get serious now, ladies and gentlemen, because there is under a minute to go here for race 2, and it is this man, the angry Andrew Ferguson off the front row, and he's got Hayden Wallace right next to him, Pete. This could be the time for this man to shine and maybe bump Brendan Hack out of P2 in the championship.
Absolutely, it could be. The standings have just got a little bit closer in that one just gone. So it is absolutely all to play for now in race 2. Ferguson's off the pole position with Hayden Wallace on the front row alongside him. So two very quick customers are being given the shot out in front with the reverse grid.
Absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see what they can do and how we're going to go racing. The revs are up. The counter has started to tick down into the final 10 seconds. 3 lights, 4, 5, 6 are up, and we are about to get going here, and we are a go here, and Andrew Ferguson's lit those rear tyres up, led some licorice strips down the end of it, and gone for it here in the opening stanza. He's going to sweep into turn 1 and say, thank you, mother, for the rabbits. Let's watch them all sweep into turn 2 as well. Bit dancy there from a couple of the drivers, but it looks like they all got through relatively cleanly there. Nice stuff. Fergo leads this one. Wallace second in place. Third for Lee Crowther. Clint Olive fourth already. The Hackster is fighting over it here at the moment with Paul Buttigieg, Jake Buttigieg in fact. Fabian's trying to get himself involved. Now Jake and Brendan are going to go back like they did in race 1 and just battle the whole way around. But Fabian is already onto the back end here, unless Benny Hines has got something to say about it between himself and Fitness. Oh, Brendan Hack though. This is interesting to see. They're going for it. Hammer and tong. Up the hill we climb now. Over the cars. Get a little bit dancy in the front end. And look at Fabian around the outside of Benny Hines there. Benny's gone wide. Marzella's got himself involved in this one too. They're fighting over it. Little bits of door banging there as well. Tommy Corks also trying to get himself fling into this battle. And there goes the cheese board. He's overcooked it. And now it's Tommy Corks up into 9th place here. Fitness and Hack though are now line astern in the championship. Is Fabian winning? Brendan Hack's got the advantage here, but only one position though. On average, it's still Fabian's round in the points. And now we're firing out the other side. Fergo has got an absolutely brilliant jump off the start, and he's flinging it down the back straightaway here now into the final corner of this one. He's going to lead this opening lap. Wallace is in second place. Then we've got the Birdman who's starting to climb back all over him again. This is going to be a good opportunity here, Pete, for this guy to flap his wings.
Yeah, absolutely. He's currently in 3rd position, but look at that. He's got the run on the exit of the final corner. He pulls alongside Hayden Wallace, and is he going to try and go for the move down into turn 1? He goes very deep on the brakes, and look at that. That was beautifully done for Lee Crowther up into 2nd position. Does he have the pace to try and catch Andrew Ferguson? Because we know Ferguson is a man on a mission at the moment. He's got the fresh air in front of him. He does not want to waste it with now less than 14 minutes left of the race already. The first lap or two have absolutely flown by it as we continue on with this one now, battling up and down the field, still going ahead. Brendan Hack, how is this one going to play out? There's a little bit of contact. Clint Olive, it goes around, and that is probably going to be looked at further along with the stewards. Is that going to have championship implications?
Well, I think it will be. That's a dead set punterino and a turnaround and no redress there from the Hackster, but he's got a championship to try and win, and he's just going to keep gallivanting on. So big implications for this man, but his biggest rival right behind him at the moment in Fabian is behind Tommy Corks in that chrome car. So he's got 2-place advantage now. It's dead even here in the old points average so far for this man. So he's going to be thinking about the long game here now, just try to gallivant his way back into it. Look at this though here, Pete. Buttigieg and Wallace are having a good old battle, and I think it's going to be the old switchback arena here for Jake Buttigieg. It is. Onto the back straight we go. We've got a drag race here. This is good stuff, but William Wallace in Hayden is doing a good job here, and he's fighting off Jake Buttigieg very, very well.
He absolutely is, and we saw in race 1, Buttigieg was a big fan of the switchbacks. He just wasn't able to get it quite done in the death of the race. But look at this. Is he going to try and go for it again? No, he doesn't, because Wallace parks the car absolutely beautifully at the last corner. But look at the run Buttigieg now has. Is he going to try and swing it around the outside? Because the turn 1 is a lot faster than meets the eye, and it's going to be very brave stuff if they're able to hold it side by side. They absolutely do. Do they hold it side by side through turn 2? No, they can't. But look at that. The switchback is on once again from Jake Buttigieg. Is he going to be able to go for another switchback here? Because going for these switchbacks means that Hayden Wallace is off put from the optimal racing line, and it gives the advantage to Jake. So that's why he keeps trying to do it here. And you can see that using all of the curb, it goes Hayden Wallace, and it's going to give the inside now to Jake. But is he going to go for yet another switchback? Because we're seeing it plenty at the moment. But these guys battling means that Brendan Hack is coming up right behind him with the lights blaring as well.
Yeah, look at that thing flashing in the background, but this is unbelievable stuff by these two. But again, Wallace I was going to say, had an absolute faultless battle. No door banging, no contact until the last moment there, but it was still entertaining nonetheless. Brendan Hack's got the headlights on and he's going through now on William Wallace. Can he get the job done? He can. Forces the issue, but wagging the tail there. This is huge for Brendan. He can taste maybe half a chance here, half a sniff at the championship. We've still got one more race to go, and Fabian's coming at a rate of knots too with those headlights ablaze. So now it's on like Donkey Kong here. It's going to be Brendan Hack in 4th place. Fergo is leading this race, but not by much. That's the gap there in front. Clouther is starting to close in on him. Wallace is in between Hack and Fitness, our 2 championship rivals, but it's looking like Fitness is going to go around the outside here and maybe take that P5 straight off Wallace. Can he get the job done to the final turn? No, he's on the right side of the circuit for that, but on the wrong side for a double move, and Wallace was beautiful here last time around against Buttigieg. He had him sorted and covered until they just made contact and lost the position, but there goes Fabian. Swings it around the outside into turn 1, domination it goes, and now he is on the charge here to find that man in that very, very colourful car out in front of him, Brendan Hack, Pete.
Yeah, he has got the lights on as well. The lights on generally means they are a driver on a mission. And look at that, your 2 championship leaders at the moment are the only 2 drivers in shot with their lights on. So they mean a business at the moment, and they are trying to make their way through the field as quickly as possible, also as cleanly as possible, because they don't want to be gathering any possible damage onto their vehicles going for the next 10 minutes of this race. And you can see they're riding on board how steep that little climb is going up into turn 7, so it can upset the cars just a little bit, hence why the side-by-side battling through this section of the circuit, which is absolutely brilliant, because the cars are fairly unsettled through here with all the different direction changes. And right behind, look at that, Tommy Cork's now trying to get his way through Hayden Wallace as well. So Wallace held his own for a very long time, but now unfortunately has kind of come unstuck and is dropping through the field. Tommy Corks, from last on the grid, is going to be able to get himself around the outside. And is that going to be the position done? No, because Wallace, he's able to hold his own there. But look at this, Benny Hines tucked up right behind as well. Is he going to try and do a little bit of bump drafting? Possibly. No, he's too far back, but 3 cars in such close proximity. How is this one going to end as they now head into the braking zone for the final corner? And it's going to be very much a late braking game between Corks and Hayden Wallace, and it's going to go in favour of Tommy Corks.
Oh, geez Louise, that was good stuff there from Tommy Corks, but these two are trading places here at the front, and it is now the Birdman who has got Fergo, and he's taken the lead here as Lee Crowther. We are 7 minutes into this race, and he's got it done. 9 to go. Can he hold on? Has Fergo got any answers for him? But a lead change, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful, beautiful stuff there. It was fair and square, I think. There's Fergo just too squirrely on the exit as well. So it's Lee Crowther leading this one, and Fergo in second. Fitness, though, however, and Brendan Hack are battling onwards, and it looks like it's just ominous stuff here. 2 headlights ablaze on 2 sets of cars, but these boys at the moment have got a championship to win. And you think Fabian is just going to lie there and let him take it off him in the Hackster? No goddamn way. This man is fiery, feisty, and very, very racy, but one of the nicest guys off the circuit you can ever meet is the Big Fab. So it's amazing what happens here, Pete, between these two. But this could be a time where Fabian just can think about the long game here, and as long as he sits there, he possibly could seal the championship up in this race.
He possibly could, but it's going to have to be a very big ask indeed. Now look at the slide from Jake just ahead. That was absolutely huge. I reckon he was nearly at full opposite lock. He was hitting those stops on the suspension as well, just for the good measure. So that was a massive save from Jake, but he hasn't lost too much proximity to Andrew Ferguson, who currently sits in second position. So we've got a bit of a train forming now behind the old Fergo, do we? And it is with Buttigieg, Hack, and Fitness also right in there, but Corksy has got some mega pace at the moment, so he'll be closing in at a great rate of knots. Of these guys start battling it out with Crowther now nearly 2 seconds out in front. But how is Fitness going to play this one? Does he dare go for a move? He doesn't. But look how wide Jake is. Jake's gone super wide, so this could leave him vulnerable now to possibly a move if he can't get the dirt gathered off the tyres quick enough, because these cars already fairly grip limited, and throw a little bit of dirt on the tyres. You are pretty much driving on a bit of ice, but it doesn't seem to have affected him too much so far in this one. In fact, he's actually starting to put a bit more pressure onto the back of Ferguson.
He was there, but he just made a mare there, Pete, of that little double left-hand section and lost a bit of time to Fergo. Fergo can breathe a sigh of relief there. Lee Crowther has just galloped off to 1.8 seconds out in front. That man is on fire and show some pace. He can do it if he's out in front in clean air. But it is now the two Leviathans of the championship fighting over it. And look at the aggression there from Fabian. Got the right on board with him to see what he's doing, because he's just nosing this thing every single which way he could possibly think about on a racetrack, and he still hasn't made any contact with Brendan Hack in front. Hack's just gone full deep there. This is cracking stuff. It's like go-karts on steroids, these things, and they are flying around here. This is unbelievable stuff. You can see it. The car behavior is just mental. It's so twitchy, it's so snappy, but it was also at the same time, they're so forgiving to actually catch as well. So don't be fooled, ladies and gentlemen. These guys are the pros out there, and on board with Fabian Fitness as we went, he is singing to the high heavens here, just sitting right behind his man in front of him, Brendan Hack. It's good to see, and I'm loving it, Pete, but this is the time where I'm just watching these two battle here, and I'm seeing something brew, and I'm thinking I would love to be out there battling like this stuff, and it's absolutely giving me FOMO. There is FOMO for the Apex for Brendan Hack, though, and he's still fighting onwards here, Pete. This is good stuff.
It is very good stuff. Are they going to be able to keep it clean? Because if any of these guys come into the contact, it is going to prove a massive for the championship that we've been speaking so much of. And because it is really between these two guys, and if they definitely, if they come into blows, it's going to throw it wide open and into the hands of Andrew Ferguson, currently in second position. But is he going to be able to hold that position? Because he's got Jake Buttigieg all over the back of him at the moment. Does Jake go for a move? No, he doesn't. Does Fabian go for a move? No, he doesn't. But so they stay a line of stone for now as they get ready to see if they can't get themselves nice and close and ready for that giant run down that back straight into the final corner, which is the biggest braking zone on this course. And you can see Ferguson a little bit snappy, a little bit understeery. That car is not playing too nicely for his liking as it stands at the moment. He's got one more corner to try and survive and try and pull a little bit of a gap, but he's off-centered from the ideal racing line. That's going to give a bit of a run here to Jake. How's this one going to play out?
This is good stuff. It's a suck train down the back straightaway. Buttigieg is the one on board with here. He's got Fergo right there. Oh, geez, right in the last minute, he just closed the door and went sideways. That is super reactive time there, and he has got the job done on Fergo, I would say, into the final turn. No, he hasn't. Fergo just sweeps around the outside, but Fitness and Hack are about to trade positions as well here. Fitness has got the outside run, and Hack's got the inside. They're bumping doors and grinding their way down the front straightaway. Don't think the stewards will be too happy about that, and Fabian has commanded himself back into fourth place there. Hackster won't be very happy, but he's got company now in front of him. This is exciting because Fergo's a cork in the bottle for Buttigieg and Fitness, and Hackster there as well, who's just ran wide in the background. Oh, goodness me, that is so close between these three guys. 3 wide into a right-hand sweeper. You are absolutely kidding me, boyos. Settle down, because it could turn to tears for all of you. But Fabian, he's just driving the tits off this thing. Absolutely singing to the high heavens is he in the old driving standards department. Give the old hip and shoulder to the Hackster. I don't think he'll be too happy about that. But he finds himself in fourth nonetheless, Pete. As Buttigieg versus Fergo now is the battle that we need to focus on and have a ball calling here.
Yeah, it is getting ever closer between Buttigieg and Ferguson. And you can see in the back of shot as well, these guys really holding up the field, because it looks like Brendan Hack's fallen a little bit off the back of Fitness, but he's now got Corks and Hines for company as well. So some very quick drivers are all now bunched up very close together. You got, so you would say, 6 of probably the quickest drivers that we've got in this series, all bunched up right together, battling it out, hammer and tong. There's not giving an inch, but as I say that, there goes Brendan Hack giving a bit more than an inch, running a tad wide, going onto the straight, but Buttigieg's got the run once more, heading into the final corner. This time, though, he goes to the inside, and he is going to be trying to go even later on the brakes than he did last time, and he absolutely does that. But is he now vulnerable to a switchback? Ferguson tries to get it done, but he got a snap of oversteer and a heap of wheel spin on the exit, so Buttigieg looks to be safe going into turn 1. He'll be unchallenged, but it is now Ferguson trying to see if he can't hold up a Fabian Fitness as it stands, because of Fitness, here we go, he's already got a run onto Ferguson. How is this one going to play out? He hasn't been able to get it done, but he's got to be careful, because Brendan Hack has played his hands right back into this as well. So all it takes is a mistake or a bit of a checkup from someone. You could lose not just the one, but multiple positions with how close this field is right now.
Yeah, it is exactly right there, Pete. And you can see Tommy Corks now really hounding the back of Hackster. Haxter now is trying to watch Fabian get past Fergo and maybe get a 2 for 1, but he's too far away. This is now Fabian's time to do it for Fergo and get past into P3 and see what he can do. And he's trying every which way he possibly can up over the rise. They go into the sweeping lefter. And this is racing, ladies and gentlemen. Quick, 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 and quick. All line astern here from Fergo, Fitness, Hacks, Corks, and Hines. As Pete said, this is unbelievable talent right here on your screen. It is literally 6,000 points of skill out of 6,100, I reckon, in the one shot. That is how good these boyos are, and they're showing us that they can do it clean, they can do it fast, and do it mean as well. And Fabian is now just losing a little bit of ground there to Andrew Ferguson. Just made him there. There goes Haxter doing the same thing he did last race, getting very, very wide. And it's still Tommy Corks out in 6th place. Hines 7, sitting in the background there. Headlights ablaze for these boys. There's Crowther leading this race with a minute and 13 to go. So this is going to be the last one of the race. But who's going to take the chockies over Fergo. Fitness is doing everything he can to get a podium. Fergo loves a podium, ladies and gentlemen. But he's getting a little bit toey and he's pushing Fabian right to the outside line there, using all the track limit possibilities. And he files it out the other side as Fergo go. Fitness nearly lost it there. Haxter's going to try it up the inside and swing it. And can he get the job done? No, too ambitious there for Brendan Hack on the old throttle pedal. And that's going to leave him vulnerable there to Tommy Corks. Pete, this is unbelievable stuff.
Yeah, it is absolutely fascinating racing at the moment. Look at that. They're nearly 3 wide in the background between Corks, Hines, and Brendan Hack. But as I said, just the last lap, you can try and go for a move, but you may be found vulnerable if you try and do that as well. So that was exactly what nearly happened to Brendan Hack. He shoved it up the inside to try and get the move from Fabian Fitness. And you can see Fitness also trying to go for the move. Corks around the outside. Is he going to get that one done? He was so late on the brakes heading up into there. He can't get it done. Runs a bit wide. But as I was saying, Brendan Hack tried to go for the move on Fitness. He had a bit of a checkup going. He had a bit of a squirrely moment happening, and he nearly lost the position to Tommy Corks. And by doing that, he's had to go defensive, and now he's lost a little bit of touch to the 3 cars directly in front. And it's starting to look a little bit sloppy because he's starting to run wide on a few more than the one occasion, as it now a car goes off a little bit wide. That was Baker just getting out the way of all of the lapped vehicles. So very nicely done. Just a bit of opposite lock for good measure, trying to get out the way.
Yeah, definitely. But that is a battle that's going to keep going on because this man here is going to be ready to race 2, ladies and gentlemen. The old Birdman flapping his wings here, turbo style, takes the chockies in this race and says, I have got that position, boyos. Come and get me a winner of race 2. Here's the Birdman, Lee Crowther, ladies and gentlemen. Take a bow to this guy far out. He got the chockies early, and he can celebrate all he likes because that is a race win and done rightly. Buttigieg gets second across the line. Fergo did hold on from Fabian Fitness to get 3rd. So a podium for Andrew Ferguson is good news for him. Fitness in 4th. Haxter, disappointing 5th for him. Corks in 6th, and Benny Hines also nearly got that done, one and run for him in 7th, and 8th goes to Paul Buttigieg, ladies and gentlemen. He may not have been the winner of this race, did Paulie, but holy cow, this guy will be absolutely stoked for that P8 position. Let's go back through the grid. Buttigieg is your second one, son of Paul there. Fergo, 3rd place, stoked as a goat. 4th for Fitness. 5th for Brendan Hack. Tommy Corks gets 6th. Hines in 7th place. Then it was Buttigieg, as we saw, with David Smart, another top 10 for him. Anthony Lauren doing a great job there as well for him, rounding out the top 10, Pete.
Yeah, it was a fantastic race for Anthony, but just outside your top 10 was Clint Olive. He missed out on a top 10 by only a 10th and a half as well. So Hayden Wallace was in your 12th position, Tom Marzella in 13th position, Dawley in 14th, showing us how to slide it and probably spin it very shortly as well. And then it's Sam Bensley in 15th position, Zaya in 16th, as he now just crosses the line as well, sub 40 seconds away from a 15th position. But Baker, who we saw, was definitely showing it a bit sideways as he was trying to get out the way of the field. And Brody Barber rounds out your field of 18 cars. We've got one more race coming up. The championship's still very much open, but it's going to need a bit of a miracle for Brendan Hack if he wants to get it done now.
Yeah, it is. It's going to have to be a DNF, I reckon, there for Fabian at the worst case scenario, or maybe even a 12th or 13th finish for him to do, though. But this man doesn't care about the championship. He's won it, he's done it, and he's taken it by a storm. Lee Crowther, winner of race 2. Race 3, as Pete said, ladies and gentlemen, is coming up. The final dance in these Geminis is not far away. 17 minutes of racing top 12 reverse grid live from Moscow Raceway. Where else would you want to be? Tell you what, you want to be nowhere, ladies and gentlemen. Sit back, relax, strap yourselves in for the final dance here at Moscow Raceway for the final time at season 20. We'll be back again after a few words from our sponsors here at Simsational TV. Fire yourselves up. Let's go.
Motto is that safe drivers are lifesavers. If your organisation shares this belief and are planning to improve driver education in your community, SDT Simulator Driver Training has the solution. Many of our simulator users are also gaining a revenue stream by taking their simulators to events and schools for driver education programs. The system can also be set up to run motorsport simulation. Many leading racing drivers are now using simulators to improve their skills. Such software can also be used to show drivers they are not as skilled as they think they are. SDT Simulator Driver Training is a division of Safe Drive Training, one of Asia Pacific's leading driver training providers. We offer affordable driving simulators that are assembled in our Brisbane head office. SDT simulators are now in use across Australia and are expanding into international markets due to their affordable price, unique features, and customization for driver training. Depending on the simulator model being purchased, you will receive a range of training resources to help you to facilitate quality driver education. SDT is the exclusive distributor of Fatal Vision alcohol impairment goggles, marijuana simulation goggles, and drowsy and distracted blinking goggles. All are used to demonstrate the dangers of such impairments on the driver. Also available are driver training posters, driving handbooks, and distracted driving resources. Our simulators make the perfect training tool for drivers to experience how various impairments affect their performance. Contact Simulator Driver Training for more information.
Welcome back with glasses full, snacks aplenty, because we have got an 18-minute fest coming up at the moment. It is going to be the third and final race here tonight and the finale for this season, and we are in for an absolute treat because we have now got ourselves a reverse grid to surely shake things up. It's another top 8 reverse as it stands. Oh, well, it looks like it was going to be a top 8 reverse because Crowther has somehow managed to find himself in the 8th position as some more drivers are still yet to join the grid. But at the moment, it stands with Lauren and Barber on your front row, which is going to be a very interesting matchup heading down into your first corner. Marzella and Ferguson round out your next lot of vehicles with Wallace and Olive as well, lining up inside your top 10 with Lee Crowther, Buttigieg, and Brendan Hack inside your top 10 once more as well, Zach.
Yeah, absolutely, Big Pete, and this is interesting to see how it's going. But championship is won and done. Not at the start, Pete. It's lights up and we're about to go. Take it away, me old son.
We are absolutely ready for the final one here tonight, end of season 20. It's going to be the send-off for the Geminis, and who is going to take the final blow of the season. It's a good start from Anthony Lauren, and he is going to be slightly unchallenged, but look at the start as well from everyone behind, absolutely flying. Lauren is unchallenged going into the first corner and has actually got himself a tiny little bit of an air gap as well between himself and David Smart, who has managed to get himself ahead of Barber, as well as Marzella also finds his way through cleanly through turns 1 and 2, the trouble corners, especially when everyone's gone out wide. And going out wide is Hayden Wallace, dropping a huge amount of positions all the way now down into 12th position. And that is going to be some work now needed to get himself back up into where he first started this race. But look at the names who are currently still further down the field. You've got Fabian Fitness in 11th position. You've got Clint Olaf in 8th. Brendan Hack has managed to find himself now up into 9th position. So fantastic stuff from a championship hopeful at the moment in this final race. And look at them still going 2, sometimes 3 wide, and a bit of contact as well. And that's Lauren now going out off into the sticks, and he is going to drop a few positions once more. 3 wide heading into the final sector here of this racetrack, and it is a Marzella onto the slide, the big power slide on the exit, and there's still very much pack racing here, Zach.
Oh, it is there, Pete. They're firing it in. This is the first lap of the race, and you wouldn't believe it. They are literally sheep stationing themselves around here. Again, it's always away, and it's Lee Crowther that we've got the focus on in 7th place. Hackster has got himself back up to 6th, but the championship leader, Fabian Fitness, sitting there in 9th. This is Buttigieg versus Marzella down the front straightaway, well, back straightaway here, and you can just see the overlap there. Marzella is not giving a millimetre. Oh my goodness me, Buttigieg just outbroke him and just said, oh, I'm going to do that. Nearly an overlap there again for himself, but it's on again here because the Hackster is fighting over it with Brody Barber here. This is a bit of an improvement. Fabian Fitness now still in 9th place, not being able to get the chockies over this man. Keep it going, ladies and gentlemen. This is on like Donkey Kong here, Pete. They're fighting and choking and dropping here. The Birdman and Barber have come together, and the haircut's been punted wide. Unfortunately, he's out of that top 10 battle, and it's on and upwards here for these boys. Hackster 5th, Crowther 6th, 7th is Benny Hines we're focusing on here, and this is Leviathan stuff here, Pete.
It absolutely is. Hines currently in 7th position, but looking like he's going to try and take a position away from Lee Crowther. If he can find an opening here, Lee Crowther, we know from previous seasons and from previous races, even in this season, he is not an easy customer to try and overtake, and that looks like Jake Buttigieg going for the move down the inside of Ferguson, and that's him now up into 2nd. We saw him in the last race. Jake Buttigieg had fantastic pace once he was able to get himself to the front of that 6-car train that we were talking so highly of. He was able to just drive away as well. So Buttigieg now already onto the back of David Smart, and he's going to be challenging for a race lead very shortly. In the background, though, you can see everyone still chopping and changing and trying to find some positions here, as now Tommy Corks, he's lost a couple of positions. He's been shafted out wide, and that's allowed Fabian Fitness back through as well. So Fabian Fitness now up into 7th position, but here we go. Jake Buttigieg at the front of the field. He's already got the overlap on David Smart. How is this one going to play out into the first corner there, side by side? A little bit of a real lock, a full good measure for David Smart, and sweeping around the outside goes that is Jake Buttigieg, and was that a little moment in the brakes for Smart going to allow Ferguson also to go on 3? And the answer, yes, he sweeps around the outside at turn 1.
Good stuff there from Fergo. He's just very opportunistic. Now Smart's under the pressure point and pump here for Hackster as well. Fitness and Cheeseboard have changed places. Fitness back up into 6th place. Hackster into 3rd, sweeps it around the outside, trying to release. Smart is just holding him up nicely there as well. Bit of defensive driving, but that's going to hurt him now because they're around the outside, and just some contact there, nearly overlap from Hackster on David Smart there, just at the point of not. Finally come out of it unscathed. Hackster into 3rd place. Birdman is under pressure here from Fabian Fitness, is coming through as well. He's going to go side by side here into the uphill sweeping left-hander. Fabian's still there. He's going to dart it up the inside, put the power down, and Sayonara, he says, just nearly getting taken out. But Birdman, unfortunately not where he wants to be. Fabian's got through. Hackster's just up the road. David Smart is in between Fitness and Hack now, and these boys are just starting to file their way back through. The cream is rising here in this stage of the race. 12 minutes and 23 seconds left to go for the final dance here in the Wednesday Cup. Boy, oh boy, has it been eventful here tonight, Pete, and we have still got a long way to go before it's over. Plenty more to come.
Plenty more to come indeed. It's been a thrilling 2 races previously, and this race is absolutely shaping up to be the same story. You can see people weaving, dodging and weaving pretty much down the straight, trying to get out the slipstream and get themselves in a position for an overtake. But for the likes of Fabian Fitness, he's actually going defensive at the moment, because he had the likes of Lee Crowther trying to go for a move, but going defensive has now allowed him to get a crisscross maneuver going for David Smart. Is he going to be able to finish this one now? down the inside into turn one as easy as you do it, and that is him now up into 4th position. Now he can try and chase down his championship competitor of Brendan Hack, who is only a few seconds up the road. He can see him. It's not hard to miss Brendan Hack. His car is that bright and colourful out there on circuit. You know who's who when you're talking to Brendan Hack as well. So he is going to be absolutely on the charge now to try and catch himself up into the top 3 battle at the moment. And speaking of the top 3, Jake Buttigieg has very quickly pulled out a 1.5 second lead. So he's absolutely out there on fire. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that one plays out for Jake and how his time management runs through this one. But there's 11 minutes left of the race, so hopefully he doesn't have to think too much in that department. But look at the battling happening here. It's Marzella, it's Hines, it's David Smart, and it's Tommy Corks all battling it out. Look at that, they're 2 by 2 pretty much. Now, as they head into the final sector of the circuit, how's this all going to play out? And that looks like actually a position change, because Lee Crowther has got back through on Fabian Fitness, and so that was a mistake. It looks like Fitness was well and truly out in the sticks and going nice and wide as well. So that was maybe a bit of a mistake there to allow Crowther back through.
Yeah, there was there, Pete. He just, I think he just overcorrected himself, did Fabian Fitness, and that's the gap right there with Fabian to the angry guggle that looks like a swarm of bees down this back straight here. It looks so close and so angry. He doesn't want to get involved in that one. Have a look at this though. This is Marzella from the rear end, and that is Tommy Corks right next to him there as well, and they've bumped and shoved their way through the final turn of the race, of the lap, sorry. Corks is out on the outside. Marzella is not giving him any room there. Corks' tyres are going to be as dirty as hell, and he fights it around the outside as Tommy Corks, so powers his way through. He's gone very wide there in the background, unfortunately, and he's sort of back in on the track. Hines has got through on him. Wallace is trying to have a dip at him. Marzella's been the biggest cheese board out there at the moment, just slipping and sliding his way in with a bit of pate, letting these boys race on behind him as he slides it in full on the brakes. Oh no! Wallace is around in the background there. Oh, unfortunately for Braveheart, he's not got the chockies here tonight in this last one. Going to be a disappointing end to the season for him. Wallace said, unfortunately, Marzella though, 6th place fighting over it here, Pete. It's looking pretty good here, and he's got a very, very angry Benny Hines behind him.
Yeah, that pack was definitely at a brewing point, and we saw 2 drivers go off at turn 1. We saw Tommy Corks go out nice and wide, and look at this, 3 wide as they head into this section of the circuit. It's some fantastic racing at the moment. The big slide for Marzella, he holds at the front, but does Tommy Corks go for the both of them? Because look, everyone is on the limit of grip. They're on the limit of what these Geminis can do, is how hard they are currently pushing it, and you can see Marzella still on the slide. Can he gather it up to try and get himself a good run onto this very long back straight? Because if he doesn't, the advantage will go to Tommy Corks, especially with a bit of slipstream as well. So how is this one going to play out? You can see the closing rate of Tommy Corks. He's going to jump it now in front of Benny Hines, and now Hines is going to get the benefit of some slipstream as well, heading into the braking zone. Jake Buttigieg pops in the fastest lap of the race, but around the outside goes Corks. Can he hold on to it? There's a little bit of contact, and once again he's going to go towards the grass, but this time can get the move done before being shafted out into the green stuff. And Hines now wants a part of this as well. Marzella defensive. Does he get himself now left vulnerable for a dive into turn 2? No, he covers it off, but he runs a little bit wide. Is Hines going to be able to put his car in and around Marzella? And the answer is yes, but can he finish off the move? Because this is a very long and feels like it never ends, a sweeping corner. But it looks like Hines has been able to get that position absolutely done, and now up into 6th position.
Yeah, straight out he goes there. Good calling, Pete. He was doing it the hard way. There was Benny Hines, but he's got the job done. He'll be absolutely stoked as a goat now, and he can just clear his way back onto the arse end of Tommy Corks, and those two can go pretty much racing together. But this battle's starting to brew here. Ferguson is in 3rd. That is Lee Crowther up the inside, or trying to at least, on Fergo, with Fitness right behind him, coming to fight back after that little misdemeanor he had just there on the previous lap. He's got the headlights are blazing here, trying to blind the opponents in front of him, and it is Fabian Fitness. But Birdman is really trying to feel the pinch here on Andrew Ferguson, but he hasn't got the run. This is going to be so easy here right now for Fabian Fitness to dart back onto the right-hand side, or the left-hand side he goes, and straight down the back straightaway we are. Approaching the braking zone. Is it going to be Fabian Fitness up the inside? This could be it here for him. He is going to know he's not. He will send it late though, and that Birdman had no answers for him. He's going to go for the switchback, however, though, is Birdman. Fabian cuts him off. Now Birdman's opted to the outside of the racetrack. They're going on and on and on here. Fergo's loving watching this in the rear vision mirror, but it is one Fabian Fitness back into 4th place Can he stick with there and not lose that position like he did last time around? And maybe give Fergo a bit of run for his money here in this race, Pete. 6.5 minutes to go.
6.5 minutes to go. Plenty of time for either things to go tits up or it's going to go very well for one of these drivers. And look at that, Fabian Fitness. He has got the pace at the moment. He's trying to look every which way that car will point in a direction to try and get himself ahead of Ferguson as it stands. He's got a pretty good run here, but unfortunately this corner is not a prime overtaking opportunity. We've seen a few moves get done through here, but it's not a super ideal spot to get it done, using a lot of curb, and as the car had to climb back over the inside of the curb, you can see it get a little bit unsettled. But Fabian Fitness is one of those drivers who does not get phased by that, and he set up a beautiful move. If he's able to get it done down here, Ferguson runs it wide, he's on the slide, and Fabian Fitness, we saw him set it up while we were riding on board, and that is why he is a 4-time champion of the Wednesday Cup.
Yeah, fantastic dummy there from Fabian Fitness. Andrew Ferguson had nothing to answer for and got completely outplayed there. That was checkmate in the old grand scheme of things for the better half of racing prowess there from the big man. And now the Birdman's just started to give Fergo a bit of run for his money too. So Fergo's going to go down from third all the way down to fifth within 2 corners, ladies and gentlemen. There's the Birdman up into fourth. But it is still this man out in front, Jake Buttigieg. He's a straight in front of Lee Crowther, Fergo and Fitness. That is the gap between them. Hackster in second place there, but Fitness is only 1 position behind him. So at this stage, it's looking pretty promising for this man here in the old grand scheme of things. Has been the champion of the season 20 as well in Fabian Fitness. But Birdman in a lovely position. This battle here is just starting to heat up a little bit here between Hines and Corks. 2 very, very quick customers. One guy is just off his dial when it goes to anything, can drift the car left, right and centre in that chrome thing. Benny Hines is just cool, calm and collected and tries to drive the thing as smooth as possible. 2 very different driving styles there, but they both get it done, ladies and gentlemen. What's happening here? Paulie is coming onto the back now of David Smart, and he's really, really giving him some honest run for his money, as Anthony Lauren is too. They're going for it here in the background. So is Zaya versus Wallace. Wallace is just reclaiming any track position he possibly can because he got ousted into that one. Sam Bensley in the top 13, but Lauren and Buttigieg have come together, and Lauren has gone around, finally gets himself back onto it. I'll go back to Sam Bensley. Mr. ARD importing himself there on 13th place, doing a nice job keeping it clean here too. Very, very nice indeed from him, but it is getting feisty again here between Hines and Corks, Pete.
It absolutely is, and it's going to be a fantastic battle to watch in the remaining, now just ticked under 4 minutes left of this race. The race is absolutely flying by, and it's going to be great to see how this one plays out. But the battle is not done yet because Hines and Corks continue to go side by side. Who's going to be the latest on the brakes? And it looks like Corksy is actually going to go super wide and be able to swing it down onto the inside line and be able to get himself a good exit as well, to mean that he's not going to be challenged into turn 1. He can kind of take the optimal racing line and see if he can't now pull away from Hines. And both of these drivers have had fantastic pace in points of this race. They just haven't been able to convert it as of yet into a proper race winning position as of yet, but the time will come in this race for them to try and do something like that. But unfortunately for them, time is against them with only 3 minutes now left on the clock. They'll be battling it out for 6th and 7th for the rest of this race. You know, David Smart though, from the front row of the grid, he has been holding his own. We saw him go flying off at turn 1 in amongst that giant swarm of bees, as Zach O'Reilly described that battle pack. Went flying off at turn 1, gathered it up, and now finds himself battling it out for a top 10 position. He's got Paul Buttigieg just in front of him, and is he going to be trying to snatch that one away?
Yeah, interesting. We'll see if he is going to be able to, because Paul is driving well. He's got his top 10 tonight that he wants per round. At least he wants one, and he's got one. But he's still got another one here to fight, because he could make it 2 out of 3. Does Paul Buttigieg with Smart and Lauren really putting the pressure pipe on him at the moment. With only 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the season here, ladies and gentlemen, this is really, really sheep station stuff for Paul Buttigieg. I was going to say not bloody Pete. You're here in the commentary box, but there goes David Smart around the inside. He goes up the inside, and he's tried to think about it onto the back straight, and he's had a shocker of a run. Paul has darted it out there like a jet and singed his way back down the back straightaway here. Good stuff, good driving Nice clean stuff there from the both of them though, and they're racing onwards again. Very, very close. Is that Lauren in the background having half a look? It was, but Bally's still none the wiser, and there goes Lauren around the outside. Oh, just a too much throttle pedal on that one. He's going to have to go back to the drawing board. Wallace and Bensley have just traded places down the back straight as well, so Wallace up to 13th. Bensley back down to 14th. Olaf in the background there is flashing the lights. He won't be happy about any of that sort of stuff either, because he was inside the top 10 for a good little tussle. And speaking of that, look what's happening here. Fergo under all sorts here now for P5 of Ferguson. This is good stuff, Pete.
It is fantastic stuff here, and it is a battle for the minor places as well inside your top 10, and there's contact heading into there. I feel like that was Tommy Corks just trying to go for a little bit of a gap that was ever going to close as well. We don't see too much side-by-side running through there, so it's going to be a little bit of an ambitious move, and he got the shove out wide from Ferguson as well, but on Ferguson's part as well, maybe a little bit of racing room could have gone a long way, but either way, Tommy Corks, he's not going to be able to relax and maybe let the red mist ascend a bit there to try and catch back up, because he's immediately now on the defense from Benny Hines as now they get ready to go down this massive back straight here. You can see from the onboard, Corks had it all sideways as he tripped over the exit curb as well. So Hines now has the run against Corks. Is he going to be able to hang it around the outside? Is he going to be the last of the breakers between the two? How heavy is that foot on that middle pedal? We'll see now, and it is very heavy. He is able to go very deep compared to Corks on the brakes, and the fastest laps are now popping through now, so the pace is absolutely rapid out in front at the moment. Lee Crowther currently has your fastest lap of the race, but Hines now takes that position away from Corks, and look at that, it's a 1:36.6. That is a great lap from Lee Crowther there, your Birdman, your race 2 winner.
Yeah,
it was Crowther.
It was, and he was absolutely showing us how to do it. And when he's got some clean air, he can sing it out there. There's Baker just getting nicely out of the way there. Thank you very much. It says all the other competitors as they go past him, but Hines versus Corks, there we go. That's on, and it's over and done with for Benny Hines is concerned. He just wants to keep driving off into the distance. But I'll tell you what, Corksy is a fighter. But it is the last lap, ladies and gentlemen. The white flag is out, and it is Jake Buttigieg leading this one. 3 different winners in 3 races here tonight. All different ones. I bet you wouldn't have put that one in your betting books out there. 3 different winners. Usually have 2 out of 3 at least here per round. That's been the average. Tommy Corks has seen the white flags out, so he's already on the slide everywhere. And it is Jake Buttigieg leading this one. Fabian Fitness is in 3rd place. Brennan Hack is 2nd. They ran in the back straight for the final time. They are going to turn their wheels to the left-hand side in these Geminis in a race session, and it's going to be this man here, Jake Buttigieg, fresh back from serving the country, comes out and serves out a big old meat plate of winning material to these competitors out there. That is your winner, ladies and gentlemen. Jake Buttigieg takes the chockies there in race 3, says thank you mother for the rabbits. I'm happy with that, and what a way to do it there, Pete. Cracking stuff from him. Hackster and Fitness are your top 3.
It was a fantastic race, wasn't it, to round out the series, and as the finishing positions come in, we'll be able to figure out who a champion is pretty soon as well. So I'm currently doing a little bit of math in the head while we keep talking to try and work it out, and I can tell you now, I've just got up to the point of where we were going into this final race, and it was not much of a gap between Fitness and Hack for sure. It was only 4 points, so bear with me, and I'm going to try and work out who the champion is with a bit of quick maths.
Well, it's going to be provisionally, because there will be post-race stewarding events that will happen tonight and tomorrow, and they will determine whether there is something nefarious going on between the Hackster in race 1, and I can't remember who it was. I think it was Smart or Olaf that got turned around by him, and then the final points will be there. But provisionally, Pete, have you worked it out as of yet to see who the possible championship winner is? Is it going to be this man, Fabian Fitness? Is it going to be Brendan Hack? Who have you got as the winner?
You're not going to believe me when I say this, but if my math is correct, both of the drivers are on 888 points.
Equal points.
Equal points.
Well, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. We've got an equal champion provisionally here tonight. Here in this one, it's Hackster and it's Fabian Fitness. These two guys, they were 1 point separated at the start of the event, and they are finishing on equal points at the end of it. and they're going to do some celebratory donuts at the end of it here too. Fabian's doing it already further down there, but could it be a dual champion? We are going to find out tomorrow, so you guys are going to have to stick around in the Discord to see what happens and where the results will be, whether it'll be tomorrow or Friday. It's going to be interesting, but the winner is Jake Buttigieg of that one. And driver of the day is who we need to get a vote out there for, Pete. Who have you got as a vote?
I reckon it's going to go to Jake. I reckon he's played 3 fantastic races, especially coming back from not being on the sim rig for some time. He has just proven the pace that he's got. And do we think that if he didn't have that time away, he could have been putting his foot in for a championship run? Yep,
got my vote too, mate. He is there, and we'll hopefully see what he can do in the next Wednesday Cup series. If he's got some more spare time in his hands, this guy can race, ladies and gentlemen. He's been up there. He's keeping everyone honest, and what a way to do it. For that one, congratulations for driver of the day material there to the big man, Jake Buttigieg. Dual winners here. Equal points between that man and this man on the screen. Provisionally, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a dual champion. Post-race stewarding is going to determine where it's going to go, so you're going to have to stick around, as I said, and make sure you guys keep the eyes on the Discord and the stewarding results once that happens. So, Fabian Fitness defending for the 5th. He's technically got one, but he's sharing it at the moment with Brennan Hack. That is season 20, ladies and gentlemen. That is how we do it. And look at those boys just doing the best thing around about what they do best. Donuts and popping tyres, Pete. Give us a rating though, man. What have you given an out of a 10 for this season of these cars as a performance and just in general? How these guys have looked on stream as well?
I think these cars have been a fantastic addition to the Wednesday Cup. You know, low grip, high power, low weight. They are an absolute, as you described before, a go-kart on steroids. And as the smoke ascends across the Moscow Raceway, I reckon these cars are an absolute 10 out of 10. They've been fantastic to drive. I've jumped in them and done a couple of just fun little races here and there by myself. And yeah, they've just been absolutely fantastic. And I think that is why this season has been such a success.
Yep, absolutely. And I think everyone who's driven them enjoys them. It took a little bit to get used to the twitchiness, and it took me a bit to get used to as well. But they're out there, and boy, oh boy, have they loved it. Big shout out to this man. We're going to get back down onto the racetrack. If he's still in the server, he is. Sam Bensley of ARD Importing, ladies and gentlemen. He is the man behind it. This is the guy who races, and he is the guy to go to. All your sim racing gear and in real life stuff as well. Is an intimate supporter here of Simsational TV. We couldn't have put the Wednesday Cup on out without him and his help too. So thank you, Sam, and go to that beautiful website out there for all of your real life and sim racing gear. The tyres are blown off that thing for now, Sam Bensley. But story is dual champions, only provisionally, ladies and gentlemen. What a cliffhanger. And what a way to finish out this season here for season 20 of the Wednesday Cup. Thank you to all of you out there for watching and tuning in every week, week on week. 20 seasons, it means it's successful, ladies and gentlemen. That's exactly what it means. So get yourself out there, congratulate yourself for all of our competitors, and put a big pat on each other's back. And a big thank you to everyone turning up as well. Well done tonight, Pete. That was good to be with you in the comms box as always. You're a legend, and you know exactly what's going on and what to do. Fabian Fitness has gone bang with a $14 super chat as well. In the meantime, big thank you, Fabs. Appreciate you, and hopefully we've got some good news for you later on. But Peter, thank you very much, mate. Looking forward to next one, and I cannot wait until we see what these next cars are going to look like here in the Wednesday Cup. Thank you as always, mate.
Thank you very much for having me. It's always a pleasure to call a Wednesday evening.
Beautiful. Loving it. Unbelievable. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We are out here at Simsational TV. It's been a sensational esports event. It's been a sensational broadcast and production as well. Thank you to ARD Importing, Bilco Pack, Speed Nation, and Simulator Driver Training for their support, and to all of you viewers out there at home. It's good afternoon, good evening, and good night here from us at Simsational TV and the Wednesday Cup for now. But don't you worry, we'll be back on Sunday for a triple header. We got big bangers we've got Gen 3 supercars, and we've got some hypercars and GT3 cars on the same field. Simsational is going to go off on Sunday. Stick around for that. We'll be here. Don't you worry about it. Until then, though, ladies and gentlemen, keep it flat out.
Simsational TV YouTube channel. Don't fucking miss it.